This is BBC One. Now a party political broadcast by the Conservative Party.
Most of the people in our country are not particularly political. They have an interest in politics, they have it rammed down their throat day after day, one way or another, but they're not particularly political. What they care about is what works. They want their country to be successful, they want their family to be secure. I believe that what we should concentrate on in politics is the practical application of sound policy. Now, that may not make great headlines, but it does make very good government. What does one care about in terms of success? We hear a great deal when the number two, one of our great companies like GEC, becomes the chairman. Very important to his way of life and his family. It's just as important to the man on the factory floor who moves up from being an assistant foreman to becoming a foreman. Just as important to his self-esteem, just as important to his family, just as important to his way of life. There's nothing special about the people at the top of the tree. They're exactly the same as everybody else. The same lively image as people elsewhere. And we ought not to concentrate just on them. Those smaller ambitions of everyday people are just as important to those people, and we need to unlock the possibility of more of those people achieving their ambitions. Who would have imagined 20 years ago the extent to which the British nation would be homeowners, or that they would own so many material possessions as that they have at the moment? That because of that you would have seen such an explosion of giving in the charitable sector or patronage by the arts. You wouldn't have imagined those changes. They're changes that have come about because of policies, some of them directly aimed to achieve it, but the impact really is cumulative. If you can free up the economy, if the economy works, if the economy grows, people are paid better, people can live better, education opportunities are better, there's a higher tax shield in order to improve the social services we care about. All of those things aren't brought about by a single big idea. The concept of a single big idea is politics by trivia. It is a million ideas, a million different ideas, each with their own place, that actually build up the sort of society we have. I want low taxes so people can make their own choices. I believe that the average family will make a better choice with their own money than the government will make if it takes that money away from them and then spends it upon their behalf. I believe people have a right to make their own choices. They can then decide where they want to live, how they want to live, how they want to spend their money. They can do that much better than even the most benevolent government or local government. That is the case for low taxes, quite apart from the economic case, which is very powerful in its own right. Nobody should think that everybody in this country is now living in easy circumstances. They patently aren't. There are still people who, through force of circumstance, find themselves in very great difficulty. We hear an awful lot about scroungers and idlers, and it's quite right that we should, because they exist. There are too many of them, and we are right to deal very firmly with them whenever we can. But that isn't the case with all the people who are in difficulties. People are in difficulties because of circumstances they can't control. Everybody isn't intellectually equipped to be a high flyer. Some people don't emotionally wish to be high flyers. Many people have family circumstances, perhaps illness in the family, that condemns them to a relatively low-income existence. These people have obligations that they have to meet as well. The Conservative Party is not, and never must, solely concern itself with the people who are doing well. What I'm saying is that opportunity is not only for the fortunate. Opportunity and choice ought to be there for an ever-widening number of people, and that's what we're about. It's where our deepest instincts are.
That party political broadcast by the Conservative Party will be shown again with subtitles on BBC Two at 10:25.